Let's discuss this and more with the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Republican Congressman Michael McCaul of Texas. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.
Let me start with the breaking news. How was this Air National Guardsman, Jack Teixeira, allowed to have continued access to highly classified information after being repeatedly warned in the weeks and months before about his mishandling of those documents?
Well, members of Congress have a lot of questions about this, Wolf. He was given access to what's called JWICS, a worldwide intelligence service. He's an Air National Guardsman, who's barely age appropriate to be looking at these documents, yet he gets full access. Now we find out he's been warned about mishandling of these documents. He should never have been in this capacity. We're going to conduct our oversight. We got to change the system here and make sure that an IT person, this reminds me a little bit of Snowden, who was an IT person, can never get this kind of blanket authorization to any classified document, particularly if they've been warned. I think some people need to be held accountable. He should have been taken out of that position and never been allowed to have that kind of access.
Yeah, they got to learn lessons from this. It's potentially so damaging to U.S. national security. Huge. According to records obtained by the FBI, Mr. Chairman, a user on the social media platform actually told Teixeira, and I'm quoting now, to please leak confidential military documents for our amusement. Teixeira responded, it's TSSCI, top secret, sensitive compartmented information. How should that factor into this case?
Well, that's one of the highest levels of classification. And again, the damage that's been done here is enormous. I was in South Korea meeting with the president of South Korea when this leak came out, which damaged his reputation politically. This has far-ranging impacts, with our foreign policy particularly. Again, this individual should never have been given that kind of access. And after the warnings, he should have been taken off that job. There are also some technology things we have that would not allow him to actually see the documents, but rather transfer them without knowing what's in the documents themselves.
Yeah, they got to learn the lessons, as I said. I want to quickly turn, Mr. Chairman, to Afghanistan. The State Department now says it will allow you to see a 2021 Dissent cable. Does that go far enough for you? Will you stand down on your plans to try to hold the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, in contempt?
This is a significant progress. I have to say, Wolf, we've been very patient trying to accommodate the State Department. Our request was to see the Dissent cables themselves. We would be willing to have the names redacted to protect those individuals, but we believe that the veterans and the Gold Star families deserve to know what the state of mind was at the embassy prior to the collapse. In addition, the Secretary's response to those cables, we need to see the actual cables, not some summarized, sanitized version. So for the State Department this is a really significant step forward, I would say, to go ahead and allow both me and the ranking member to view these Dissent cables. I think the only issue remaining for me, and by the way, this would be the first time State Department's ever produced a Dissent cable to the United States Congress. So I do applaud them moving forward in the right direction. The only issue I have remaining, Wolf, is that I have a lot of Afghan veterans on this committee, and in fairness to them, I believe that they should be able to see the Dissent cables as well, and not just me and the ranking member. The documents are to be produced to the committee, which includes all members of the committee. And if we can work out this last step, then I think we've resolved a litigation fight in the courts and a good result for our veterans.
Congressman Michael McCaul, thanks so much for joining us.